These are the top mistakes most beginner investors make. And in this video, I want to break it down so you understand why it's a mistake and what you should do instead. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sisters for Financial Independence. My name is Catherine Agapjan, and here at Sisters for Fi, I cover money lessons to help you manage your money better. Today's topic is all about investing. The first one is not actually investing. You've read all of the investing books you could, all of the content, but you still are not investing. How is that possible? Well, most often people mistake the fact that they've put money into their account as investing. When you transfer your dollars from your checking account to your investment bag, they think that's investing. But you actually have to buy something within your investment account. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to see your transactions that you are actually buying a stock, a mutual fund, a bond, or an index fund. And you will see that right away in your dashboard. So look to make sure that your money is being invested and not sitting in some cash sweep account or some money market account, because that will not grow your money. The second mistake most beginner investors make is that they panic. They panic when there's a lot of news about the stock market, when there's some negative activity and some negative news going on when it comes to the economy. And what most beginner investors make is they either stop investing or they take their money out. But remember that your investing is for the long term. When you're looking at the daily fluctuations of any stock or the stock market, you are going to see ups and downs, and it's going to be volatile. But you need to zoom out and make sure you are looking at it from the widest angle possible, because your investment horizon is long term. It should be 10 years or more. And when you see those daily fluctuations, they are going to be scary, but you need to stay consistent and stay invested so that your money has a chance to grow. The third mistakes most beginner investors make is that they are just not patient enough. I know that we live in the world of instant gratification, and when you have your phone and your investment is in your app, it can be easy to constantly buy and sell your investments. But that will not bring you wealth, because not only will you be paying transaction fees when you're buying and selling, but you are going to miss out on the growth of many of these companies. By the time you hear some news about the company, some other people have already made their investment moves, and you're going to be too late. So stay consistent, stay invested over the long term. Do not panic buy and panic sell, especially because it's so easy with our phones now. The fourth mistake most beginner investors make is thinking it's too late. It's never too late to start investing, especially if you do end up growing much older and you have maybe 20, 30 years to grow your money. You do need to start small, but the more you do it, the consistent you get with putting your money aside, the better for you in the long run. Here is your investment opportunity timeline. If you're not able to do it at 18, you can do it when you're in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s. It's never too late. But look at the timeline after the age of 50. If you live to be 90 and you start investing at 50, you have 40 years of growth for your money. Your money can still work for you. It can still be there for you when you need it. The fifth mistake most beginner investors make is not automating their investment. It's 2025. By the time you see this, it'll be 2026, and you now need to take advantage of automation. Take advantage of the fact that the minute you get your paycheck, you can automatically put your money to work for you by investing it. Take advantage of all of these features that all of these platforms have to automate your investing. You're going to do this in 3 ways. First thing, when you receive your paycheck, make sure your employer deducts the money to be invested in your employer-sponsored retirement account. Number 2, once your money hits your checking account, have your checking account immediately send money to your other investment accounts so that money is no longer visible to you and not available for you to spend. And number 3, within all of your investment accounts, make sure you set up the dividend reinvestment plan. Make sure any dividends that comes in from your investments are automatically reinvested so that your money grows faster. The next mistake that you are going to want to avoid is going with the trend of buying a single stock. There's going to be companies that are hitting the news often that are skyrocketing with their stock, and you might be tempted to buy that single stock. Single stocks, unfortunately, are one of the most volatile investments. You can buy a few shares of a single stock that you like, but remember that having these for the long term might not be good for your investment portfolio. Many of these are volatile, many of these are trendy stocks, and you don't know what will happen to them. Meme stocks had their moment and they still have their moment. You can still find some threads on Reddit about them, but you just want to be careful with buying single stocks, especially buying with the trend. The next mistake is thinking you need a lot of money to start investing. You don't need a lot of money. You can actually use the concept of fractional share investing, which allows you to buy a fraction of a share of stock. This means investing is truly accessible even if you don't have hundreds or thousands of dollars to start. But the key thing is you need to start and you need to commit setting aside a specific amount each week or each month to be invested. And it's fine if you buy fractional shares. The more you do it, the more you'll increase your number of shares, and now you'll have a full portfolio to help you in the future. Here are a bunch of firms that you can invest with that support fractional share investing. You can go with the tried and trues of Fidelity and Charles Schwab, or you can switch to the mobile first platforms like Robinhood and Webull. You have choices when it comes to investing, especially when it comes to investing little amounts and growing that over time. The 8th mistake is not dollar cost averaging. Many investors think that they are better than everyone else, that they know exactly when the stock market's going to go up or when it's going to come down. But unfortunately, many of us, especially for us retail investors, we get information too late. And by the time we make those investment moves, it's too late for us. So it's super important for you to understand that it's very difficult to time the market. Instead, it is recommended that you do what's called dollar cost averaging. This is where you just set a consistent amount to be invested over time. Doesn't matter if the stock market is high or low. You continue to invest, you continue to buy, and in the end, it will average out your purchase price. That will mean you won't have to worry so much about the ups and downs of the market. You continue to stay invested and be invested and have your money grow for you. The 9th mistake most beginner investors make is not looking at the tax implications. We covered that there are a lot of accounts that provide you tax advantages today as well as in the future. There's also an account that allows you to invest as much as you can, but it doesn't have any tax advantages. But just because that account doesn't have a lot of tax advantages, still most investors don't understand the difference between long-term and short-term capital gains. Constantly buying and selling within that taxable brokerage account means you do have to shell out taxes, and those taxes are eating up your money. So if you are going to invest, make sure you understand the tax implications of your investments, whether that's today or tomorrow. The next common mistake most beginner investors make is not knowing their goals or not revisiting their investment goals. Why are you investing in the first place? What is the time horizon for your goal? Because that will inform the kind of investment accounts you choose, how much money you put in, and the kinds of investments you also buy within your accounts. So keep your goals in mind so that it focuses you and your money, and you have a higher chance of reaching your goals. The next mistake is not necessarily for beginner investors, but for those who have been investing for a few years. And that mistake is borrowing from your investment accounts, more specifically borrowing from your 401k accounts. It is not recommended that you do this. The reason why you're putting your money aside is that so that it's available for you in the future when you're ready to retire. When you start taking out money from your retirement accounts, you will likely pay a penalty and pay taxes, and you'll have to pay it back. So you want to be aware of this. Yes, it is your money, and yes, it is there set aside for future self. And it can be tempting to borrow it today to meet some of your financial needs. But I would encourage you to work other alternatives before you dip into your other investment accounts. Otherwise, you will lose out. You will lose out on the growth and opportunities of that account. The next mistake is letting fees eat up your money. When you invest, you want to be looking at some of the transaction costs that happen when you buy or sell a stock, a mutual fund, or an ETF. You also want to look at the expense ratios for some of these funds. And you also want to look at these platform fees. Some of these robo-advisors now have fees if you don't have certain balance limits on your account. You want to be paying attention to those fees, because while they could be small, they could be $3, $5 per month, they are eating up potential gains for your money. So make sure you understand expense ratios, transaction costs, platform fees that might come with your investments, and try to shield your money from these extra costs. They will add up in the end. And the last mistake is thinking that you have to be 18 to invest. You can invest under 18 as long as you have a parent or guardian who can help you open a custodial account. This means technically they can help you open an account, and it's your account and will transfer to you when you reach the age of majority. Now, investing is a long-term play, so if you have a parent or guardian that is willing and able to share their investment knowledge with you, then by all means, go for it. Understand what it means to invest, understand what it means to take care of your money today so that you have more in the future. There are so many kinds of investment accounts available out there, and ones available for those under 18. If you are a beginner investor and you are a parent, yes, you can invest for your children. You can invest for their education. You can invest in a custodial regular account so that they have something when they grow older. But you do have to invest for your future self first, and then your kids. That way you are covered, and then you can pass on that knowledge to your children. Mistakes happen. We are all human. There is no such thing as a perfect investor. But if you are afraid to start because you are going to make a mistake, that's the wrong mindset to take. Instead, take the approach of trying it now, making a change, and pivoting today so that those mistakes won't be as costly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let me know in the comments what your biggest investing mistake was. What can we learn from you? And if this video has been helpful, give it a like and share it with a friend, and subscribe to Sisters Forfi for more money content. To help you with your other investing goals, this video is going to be for you. But if you are still trying to get out of debt, this whole playlist is going to be for you. I will see you in the next video. Bye.